Welcome to Buzz Recaps. Today I will explain a German romantic drama film from 2014. Before starting the film, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Spoiler alert. The movie begins and we see a 16-year-old girl named Lee. She is visiting Oslo City with her father for a business deal. Lee's father is a CEO of a big multinational company. Because of that, they have to travel a lot around the world. The following morning, Lee's father is working. Lee comes and asks her father what he is doing. Her father replies that he is preparing for a sales pitch for today's company meeting so he can get the contract for his company. Lee's father tells her that this contract is significant for his company. Lee asks him if she can join him in the meeting. Lee's father explains that she is too young for a business meeting and tells her to stay in the room and don't go out anywhere. Lee sarcastically tells him that if she ran away with a drug dealer, would you like that? Lee's father replies that he doesn't like such jokes and asks Lee how he looks. Lee compliments him and fixes his shirt a little. Her father is nervous because it's a big deal. He has to get this contract for his company. Lee's father leaves for his meeting. Later, Lee takes a shower and wears some casual clothes. She gets out of the room and goes to the hotel lobby to explore the hotel. Even though her father strictly told her to stay in the room, Lee took some water bottles and started going back to her room. In the elevator, a middle-aged man comes in and unintentionally touches Lee while pressing his floor button. Lee is beautiful and young. She is chewing gum like an amateur girl. The man in the elevator is continuously staring at her and pretending that he is on the phone. After a moment, that man's floor comes and he gets out of the elevator. After walking a few steps, he looks back at Lee. At that moment, the elevator door closes. Lee comes back to her room. She sees her father already present in the room. Her father is angry at Lee because he had instructed her not to go out of the room. Lee's father uses some harsh words in anger, while Lee listens to him and apologizes. After some time, her father calms down and hugs Lee and tells her that he cares about Lee, and she is the only family he has. Lee also gets emotional and feels sad. After a while, Lee's father tells her to get ready for dinner. Lee asks her father for his white shirt so she can also look like a businessman. While changing her shirt, Lee asks her father about the business meeting and his contract with the other company. Her father compliments her for her businesswoman look and ignores her question about the business meeting. Lee's father asks her to let's go to dinner and take the contract from the company. The scene shifts. Lee's father and Lee are at the dinner party, where Lee's father meets a man named Christian. Lee's father introduces Christian to Lee and tells her that he is the purchasing manager from the other side. However, Lee instantly recognizes him from the elevator. Lee's father asks Christian to talk in private for 2 minutes. Lee's father tells Lee that he will be back in a minute. Lee tells him slowly to get the contract from him. Meanwhile, Lee meets the other guests at the party, while her father is talking to Christian. When Lee looks at her father, he is arguing with Christian. It seems like Lee's father is asking Christian for something. When Christian left, Lee comes to her father because he seems upset. Lee asks her father about his conversation and asks if she can help him with anything. Lee's father sarcastically says, if you can get me the contract, go get it for me, and leaves the room. Lee feels sad after seeing her father upset. Lee comes out of the hotel while crying. Suddenly she sees Christian sitting there smoking. Christian asks Lee did she like Oslo City or not. Lee replies that there is nothing so special about the city. Christian says that at least it's better than Copenhagen. Lee smiles a little and says that she has never been to Copenhagen. Christian gets up, takes off his scarf, and gives it to Lee. Christian says that it's too cold here, she can get sick. Lee doesn't say anything and takes the scarf. Christian asks her where she lives. Lee tells him that she doesn't stay in one place for a long time due to her father's business. However, she is from New Zealand, where her father was born. Christian asks her, don't you feel lonely because of the continuous travel? Lee smartly says that she meets new people at new places, which makes her happy. Christian is impressed by her answer. Meanwhile, it's revealed that Christian is the man who can get Lee's father his contract, because Christian is the purchasing man from the other company. Lee returns Christian's scarf and gets back inside the hotel. Later we see a meeting between two companies, where we see Lee's father Lee and Christian. Lee's father is trying to convince Christian to give him the contract. However, Christian is not interested in the conversation and continuously stares at Lee. Meanwhile, Lee is not feeling comfortable because Christian is sitting by her side. Christian touches Lee's leg slowly. Lee doesn't say anything and drinks a glass of water while looking at Christian. However, she is feeling weird. Lee looks at her father. He notices everything and says nothing but a smile. Lee is shocked to see her father not even trying to stop Christian. After the meeting, Lee's father and Lee go out of the hotel. Lee tells her father that she finds Christian a bit weird. Lee's father smiles and says why did she think that? All the business people are like that. They all are frank and do things very freely. After a while, Lee's father asks Lee to go back inside. Lee tells him that she wants to go to her room. However, Lee's father ignores her and takes her to the party forcefully. At the party, everyone is drinking and having a good time. Christian asks Lee for a dance. She hesitates a little and eventually starts dancing with him. After a while, Lee gets comfortable with Christian. She looks at her father and calls him to dance. Lee's father says no and tells her to enjoy. Lee is shocked to see her father because he never gave her so much freedom. Christian takes Lee to the other side of the party. While Lee is looking at her father and thinking, why is her father not stopping her? Meanwhile, Christian is dancing with Lee and trying to touch her body. Lee starts getting comfortable with Christian. Lee is continuously looking at her father. Lee's father is enjoying himself with other women and not even looking at Lee. She is stunned by his father's behavior. Because her father is rigorous and never let her even talk to strangers. At that moment, Christian starts kissing Lee while dancing. Lee again looks at her father. Her father looks back at her and leaves the bar. It seems like her father wants her to get intimate with Christian. Lee doesn't understand her father's behavior. Meanwhile, Christian takes Lee out of the bar. Lee doesn't understand anything and silently goes with Christian to his room. In the room, Christian gives Lee some alcohol to drink. Lee starts drinking while standing in front of a window. Her heartbeat is getting faster. Suddenly Christian comes from behind and starts kissing her neck. After some time, they get intimate and play 1 versus 1. After the session, Christian leaves the room. While Lee is sitting in silence. She doesn't understand anything. Why did Christian leave without saying a word? Later Lee goes back to the party. Lee searches for her father and, after some time, she sees her father talking to Christian. Lee notices that her father and Christian are talking very nicely. She is surprised because just a few hours ago, they were arguing. It seems like Christian and Lee's father are celebrating something. Lee assumes that her father might have got the contract. However, she is confused about how after her session with Christian, her father got the contract. She understands the whole story. After a while, she went to her father. He is drinking with his friends. Lee takes a glass of alcohol. Lee's father tells Lee slowly in her ear that he got the contract. At that moment, Lee gets 100% sure that her father used her to get the contract. Lee looks at Christian. However, Christian is ignoring her and not looking back at her. Lee's father cheers with everyone. At that moment, Lee starts cheering and tells her father, "Great work, Dad." Her father is shocked to see her behavior and tells her that she is drunk and instruct her to go back to her room. However, she doesn't listen to her father. Suddenly Lee kisses Christian in front of everyone. Her father holds her back. Lee tells him to get off and leaves the room. Lee's father excuses everyone for her daughter's behavior and go after Lee. Meanwhile, Lee is stopping a taxi. Lee's father comes and tries to give Lee his coat. Lee is angry and pushes him away. Lee starts crying while her father tries to comfort her. Lee understands everything why her father let her dance. And why did he take her to the party. She understood that her father let her get intimate with Christian for the sake of a contract. She tells her father that she is going back to Denmark tomorrow. She starts leaving because her father broke her trust. Her father says you are my only family. Lee feels sad and cries. However, she doesn't stop and sits in the taxi while crying. She goes away while her father stands alone behind. And the movie ends here. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more. See you next time. Take care.